Thanks, Enrico. New day, new learning.
Ciao, Mace. What do you have for me today?
Today it's my turn to make some live coding with you.
Nice.
So please keep rooting for me.
I
I'm
am.
gonna show you two patterns related to testing stuff.
Mhm.
So first of all, I prepared a very easy util function that I have, which is named class names. And I use it in a React world very often. I will show you how to give you some filling. So in general, it works like this. You are using this util whenever you are putting class names, and it's just concatenating a lot of different class names you have, but you can make it conditionally. So for example, I'm just, sorry, why this is with, I don't know, it should be like random number. Whenever this random number is lower than 0.5, we should add this class. Whenever it's not, we shouldn't add this one. So we can also watch how it's working. Now it's red because we have it was below. It is not red, not red, not red, red. You see, it's working, right?
Yes.
So this is what our util is doing. And now what I would like to do with you today is let's start with writing some tests for this class. So class names, maybe spec, whatever. Okay, let's open this also in a separate window. And now, the one pattern I want to share with you, it's a very simple one, but something people usually don't even know or think about is whenever I'm just describing, usually I'm doing something like this, right? So let's describe this, what I'm testing. So this is my function. And then it's doing something. For example, it should return a positive value. So whenever I deliver something positive into it, it should deliver the same. So for example, expect class names here, for example, positive to be positive. I just import the right thing. We can run this test. All good, right? So this is the very simple test, and I don't want to continue testing. What I want to show you is that this description of your or the whole testing block is not the best. You can do something better, because whenever I change the name of this function from some reason, for example, I will decide, okay, it's class names is not the best thing. Maybe it should be like class filter, sorry. Then my tests start being not in sync with what I'm testing. So I still, in my test, I still have this class names thingy, right? So I need to remember about it. And for the, usually, for example, WebStorm adjusts the name file for me. I'm then think, okay, these names are not the same. So I will also adjust this one. But very often I forgot about this one. And when I'm just running the bigger scope of tests, I just see class names. What is the class names, right? I don't have this in my code anymore. And the thing is that JavaScript actually delivers us something what we can use to our advantage, which is just the name of the function. So I can just get it programmatically from my function. And now if I will rerun this test, look at this. This is just my
Beautiful.
real name. If I will just use, class names again. Okay, now we also need to rerun because it doesn't see it. Yep, it's class
Super.
names. So it's always in sync, right? It's a small
Uh-huh.
thing, but I always convince people to use it because for me, just, writing this test like this is a little like writing comments. Of course, sometimes, also it's like when your behavior of your function change, you need to adjust the test as well. But this one is much more like a test description, which should be automated as well. So that's the first, let's say, trick thing I want to share with you. The second one is also very interesting for me, and it's let's create another thing here. It will be much more in TypeScript word. So let's assume that I have some types. So let's say it's a type menu, and this menu contains some things. For example, it's a type in there. Maybe it could be horizontal or vertical. Yeah. Maybe not items, but let's say that I can have some label on this menu. I can also have some width, height, and maybe background color. Yeah, some properties. And now I want to create an enum which will contain some, let's say, menu editable properties. And these properties, this should be an enum, and it should contain some of these properties, but not all of them. So for example, let's decide that, I don't know, label is the one thing I can, sorry, this shouldn't be here. It could be editable, and the other one is, for example, background color. Other are not editable. So the case is I really would like to have an enum because maybe I would use it later in my code somewhere to decide which kind of property I now want to edit. But at the same time, I would like to be sure that whatever I create in this enum is part of this menu. So how to do this? So what I learned I guess it was last year actually, is that you can also create tests for your types. Okay, so once again, I would like to describe something. Unfortunately, here we can't use, for example, this name because this is a type, so it will just disappear whenever it is compiled. So actually here we can use our trick here, but we can describe it in a way. So for example, let's say that I'm testing this. And what I would like to be sure, right, by writing this test is that this enum contains only fields from the menu type. So how to write it? First of all, we will need to have something which will compare stuff for us. So something like in our standard way of testing, we have this expect from some library, like for example, vtest here, right? But here we need something from TypeScript purely, and this is something we can try to write this expect type by ourselves. Like this, sorry, extends true equals t. Stay with me, I will show you how to use it. So now I want to create a reduced menu type, which will be just, I'm using pick from TypeScript. So this is the TypeScript util to pick stuff that I have here from menu. So I will try to say menu editable properties. The one is label. The second one is background color. But I need to import this one as well. So I created a reduced menu type, which is just, pick me this and this from menu. Okay. And the second part is now I'm creating a new type. I'm using my expect type to say, okay, reduced menu extends record like this, menu editable properties. It's the first thing. So here we can say unknown, because it really doesn't care what's there. And whether it, I will make it a little bigger. So whenever this type extends something like this, we return true. Whenever not, it false. So basically, that's the complete test. And now we need to add two more things. So first, slint will force me, why do you have some unused bars? It's actually not unused. The second one is the TypeScript will also complain because it's a declared type but never used. So also in tsconfig, I don't want to check this. No one used locals. Okay, and now it's okay. So we don't run this test in a strict way, but if you left this piece of code, it will always, like TypeScript will always ensure that your types are correct. And let me now show you how it works. So let's say that I add a new property to my menu enum x. So now immediately this will start complaining. Hey, something is wrong. Your reduced menu, which is this element with this two, doesn't extend record with this one because this one expects all of the properties to be there. So this one is basically something like, label unknown, bg color unknown, and now x unknown. But this one only contains these two. So it is not working anymore. And this is how like TypeScript check on your system will immediately tell you something is wrong. So it's not working anymore. So if I will add x here as well, I don't know, let's say it's a number, then it should go on. It should go on, but once I also extend this here. So now I'm assured that I get all of the things which are once again from here, and they also here. But if I will not extend this one here, and I can do this until it's a part of here. So if this is actually not a part of this element, I can just really extend it like this, right? So this one is not complaining, but when I try to pick X from here, I just don't have it. So having these two things always make me sure that I'm only using stuff here in this enum from this type. I know for the very first time it's look a little messy, but it's a whole thing. I will show you the repo here, which is behind this thing. So look at this, what you can do really, like you can equal stuff in TypeScript and expect and stuff like this. And that was only the example that I showed you was the practical one I really faced during working with my code. And I present you here, but there are way more. So sometimes you build some types, these types also have some kind of logic, and this logic covers how you can, what you can do, some situation, some business logic from your application. And you don't have other way to test this stuff other than in TypeScript world. So creating another types which will confirm that your types really work the way you want. And this is the one example. So usually you can't really relate enum to some type easily, but by using something like this, you can. It's mentally it's way harder to think about this, but I really encourage you to the link to the stuff I will share with you. There are some type challenges. It's also a presentation you will see when you can just, if you are interested, you can investigate this topic more. I think it is super beneficial, and it's also an interesting knowledge when people can see that you are a real TypeScript expert once you do stuff like this.
Wow, Maciej, this is amazing. I love it. I think this is a great technique to make sure that all your types are tidy up and they are making what you expect them to do. I have been already seeing similar stuff, but not in a specific example like this. I really appreciate the knowledge you share. Thanks a lot. It's something I might be using. I love using Enum, and so I look forward to the link of that course. Thank you. I am still wondering if it makes sense to create a test in the real sense, or if you can just have one file that stands as your dot test, but doesn't have a describe, because that test is going to actually run and it doesn't make sense for it to run, right? So it's a very minor inefficiency, so I don't think it's even really relevant. But that's good. I love it. Thank you so much.
For me, some benefit to put this in real tests is that you are better showing the intention. So that's a test. Actually, once I added something like this into our real production code, someone just deleted this because it was like, oh, hey, it's no expectations here. So this test is doing nothing, right? But actually it was doing something. So it's not a very popular thing. And I guess it's, at least first time you will add something like this to your code base, it's worth mentioning, or maybe lefting some additional comments. What is this really doing? But for me, it's just better to put it in a test, because it's, in a way, it's testing your type structure. So
yeah. I wonder if there is any assertion we can make on that variable but no, because it's going to just complain about the type. I love it. Thank you much for sharing.
Thank you, Enrico. See you next time. Ciao.